In this tutorial, you'll be instructed on how to create a line graph in Google Sheets. The example that you will see is of a double line graph that displays two sets of data. Before you can create a graph or chart, you'll need to enter the data that will be used in your graph and at least a couple of rows and columns. It will also be helpful to label the data in your spreadsheet with column headers before you create your graph. On this spreadsheet, I have 3 columns, one labeled time, one labeled LL for low light, and one labeled ML for medium light. I'd like to make a line graph with this data. It helps that I've already created the labels as column headers because I can choose to use these headers as my labels in my graph. Here's how I will create a graph from this data. From the spreadsheet, I will select the cells with the data to include in the graph. I'll select all the data by using the Shift key on my keyboard, including the column headers. Note that you don't have to select all the data in the spreadsheet. Once you've selected the data you wish to include in your chart, select the chart icon in the menu bar or choose Insert Chart from the menu. The chart editor box will appear on the right-hand side of your screen, while a default graph appears in the middle of your spreadsheet. In the Data tab of the chart editor, you'll be able to edit the range of cells to include in the chart if you didn't select the correct data before inserting the chart. You'll also be able to select basic layout settings, and you'll be able to view which type of chart or graph you'd like to use. Since I am making a line graph with 2 data sets over time, I will select Line Chart. As you make changes in the chart editor box, you will see the changes reflected in your graph on the spreadsheet. I want to use the first row as headers, so I'll leave the Use Row 1 as Headers box checked. I'd also like to use column A as labels, so I'll leave that box checked. Now I can customize my chart by clicking the Customize tab. I'll edit the chart title, and I'll name it The Effect of Light Amount on Chlorophyll Over 48 Hours. I'm also going to add appropriate titles to the horizontal and vertical axes. You can use these editing tools to format this text. I can adjust the position of the key in the Legend subtab. I can change the line style or color of each line in the Series subtab. If I wanted to customize the scale of either axis, I could enter minimum or maximum values, and I would input those values in the horizontal axis or vertical axis subtabs. You can exit the chart editor by clicking on any cell in the spreadsheet outside the graph area. If you want to edit your graph again, you can simply double-click on the graph. Lastly, let's take a quick look at the actions available in the Chart Action menu. Click the snowman button in the upper right. To download the graph or chart as a PNG file for use in other documents, click Save Image. To get HTML code for publishing the chart as an image or an interactive chart on a web page or blog, click Publish Chart.